Hi everyone, it's Coach Magpie's YouTube channel. Welcome back to another video on my channel. In today's video, I will be going over my round 7 tips and I'll do my round 8 tips and previews. If you are returning Coach Magpies, welcome, like, comment, share. If you're new to the channel, watch this for the first time, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Now, round 7, I got 9 out of 9. That's right, I got 9 out of 9. Out of the tipping side. Picked Melbourne correctly, but the margin was 7 points away. Picked Collingwood, but it was a draw. I picked the Giants purely based on it was at Canberra, and I trusted the Giants more. I picked Port Adelaide, again, that was an easy one for me. I picked Adelaide, that was too easy. I picked Geelong, only because I knew exactly what we're seeing with Geelong, such a good team. Eventually, it was going to get to them as well. I picked the Dockers. I gave them a chance, got that one correct, and I think that's probably the way you look at the two teams as well. So yeah, I trusted Fremantle more than I trust the Bulldogs. I picked the Suns. That was pretty easy for me, and I picked the Swans and got the easy job done as well. Now, Adelaide versus Port at the Adelaide Oval. Now, we've had $1.81 Port Adelaide compared to $2 for Adelaide Crows. Now, while I know that last time these two sides met, in round 20, the Crows won by 47 points. That was in recent forms as well. Now, we do know that Adelaide have won 3 of the last 5. So they beat the Power by 31 points in round 3 in 2023. And then obviously in round 3 in 2022, they won by 4 points. And the only time they lost in the last 5 means is 2021 in round 21, where the Power won by 4 points. And in round 23 in 2022, they won by 56 points. So I think for me, the form suggests, and there's injuries as well to the Power at the moment. They'll have a few out for sure. So I'm going to say that it'll be the battle of which midfield that really gets on top. I do think that Adelaide's forward line will get the better of Port Adelaide's defence because there's no Leo. They got Zerg Thatcher. They got Ragalia as well. I do think that Adelaide's forward line will dominate Port Adelaide's defence in that aspect. I think Port's forward line is good. I just think that, and then midfield do battle deep as well, but I do think that Adelaide's midfield can really tice it up. I know they beat North Melbourne, but they had to win that game. So I'm going to say that with that, I'll have to beat the Crows. And I think Adelaide will get the job done by 15 points. It's purely based on form and injuries that Port Adelaide suffered. We know they've got a lot of injuries. So, Carlton versus Collingwood on a Friday night. And depends on how I feel. Look, I'm still feeling sick, but I'm going to try and get better as much as I can. But Collingwood have always played well against Carlton. That is a known fact in that. The last time that we met was round 2023, and they beat us by 17 points. But we've had literally a tough game against Port Adelaide in a game that really didn't mean anything, and we're 2 games clear as well. But we also have won, if you really want to look back on, we beat them in round 10 last year as well, when we beat them by 28 points. We beat them by a point in round 23 in 2022 as well. Round 11, we beat them by 4 points. Now, yes, in round 18, they beat us by 29 points, and that was without COVID. In round 2 of that year, we ended up defeating them by 22 points as well. So, and even like round 14, wherever it was in 2020, we have beaten them. So, 2019, we beat them once in round 8. 2018, we beat them in round 14 and also round 3 as well. So we've generally played really well against Carlton. Now, these are our arch rivals, we're biggest rivals. It doesn't matter where these two teams are on the line, it's always going to be a great game. But knowing that we had the draw, but we played really well. We literally have. So we've had, realistically, 3 wins, a draw and a loss in the last 5. Carlton's only had 3 wins and 2 losses. So, realistically, I think it's going to be a battle of our defence versus their forward, our midfield versus their forward, and our forward line versus their defenders as well. And then that way you can actually see what's going on. So, I do think it will be the battle of probably our midfield as well. I do think that we need to start really well as well. So I'll do a preview like later on as well. And then obviously talking about Carlton versus Collingwood in general. But I do think that, that I can definitely see us winning. I'm going to say Collingwood will get the job done by 18 points. So I think it will be close. But I just hope if we do get off to a good lead, that we do put them away as well. So the Swans versus the Giants up at the SCG. Now these two sides are playing ripping games. We know that the Swans won by 11 points in 2023. It was. They're playing in final series as well. And that's what matters. And they've had the 1-point victories before. They've had a round 24 in 2021 in the elimination finals, where the Giants won that. But also they won by a point in round 7 2023 as well. And the way that I look at these two teams is that it's been very good games. Like, it's been decent. We know Swans won by 20 points in round 1 in 2022. And in round 20, they beat them by 73 points over at the SCG. So, like, there is good form here for the Giants. They've won 3 of the last 5. So, I'm going to say the Giants. And I think they'll win by 5 points. Only purely based on, I think that, while it's at the SCG and you'd be tempting to pick the Swans, but I do think that their 4-9, the Giants' 4-9, is a lot better than Sydney's 4-9 at the moment. You've got Hogan, you've got Cadman, you've got Riccardi, you've got Toby Green that will come back. You've got Bedford as well. There's another one, Daniels. They've really got such a good 4-9. The Swans, and look, I know that, Adelaide played on a Saturday and we played on a Thursday, and the Giants played purely based on, literally on a Thursday night, and the Swans played on the Sunday. But I just think as well with Sydney and the Giants is that I'm thinking that these two teams, and you got by form as well. Giants only lost 1, that was against Carlton, and the Swans lost to the Tigers. So they're beating teams that they probably should be beating. But this is a big test for the Swans as well. St Kilda versus North Melbourne at Marvel Stadium. Now, I think this is again going to be a battle of which defence will step up. I think St Kilda's 4-9 should get the job done against North Melbourne's defence. I do think it will be a defensive type game. I think Ross Lyon will make it defensive. I think North Melbourne will be happily trying to be attacking, but I think deep down North Melbourne will make it a very tough game, and St Kilda will make it a very tough game defensively as well. So I don't expect to be high scoring in this game. The Saints should realistically win this game and win this game really well, and they probably should win by 40 points. But every time you say that, it's always been like close games as well. So it hasn't really turned out on the way it should have. You know, they won by 8 points in round 19, 2023 as well. And then before that, in round 8, they only won by 30 points. You know, 2022 was different because, you know, Alistair Clarkson wasn't coaching. In round 11, they won by 53 points. They won by 20 points back in round 11 in 2021. And round 1 in 2020, they only won by 2 points off Melbourne. I think that was a big come from behind win as well. So, look, I do think that you'll see St Kilda winning, but I think it'll be just 15 points. I can't see this game being a blowout as well. Unfortunately, because otherwise, you know, it's so frustrating as well with St Kilda because you can't really trust them at this point. So now we got Melbourne versus Geelong at the MCG. Now Geelong are in great form, $1.85 to $2. Look, watching Melbourne and Geelong play, like, I've seen Geelong live now, and I've seen Melbourne play when I've been streaming as well. It's like, you know how good that Geelong are because they play so well. You know, and watching them while I'm streaming them as well, that they are a very good professional unit. They've proven me wrong this year, where I didn't think they'll make the top 4. So, I do think, in that aspect, you know, you probably see a Geelong win. Last time these two sides met was round 15, 2023, down at GMHBA Stadium. They won by 15 points. But I think with me, Geelong have only won 2 of the last 5. So, realistically, like, Melbourne have dominated Geelong in a prelim final by 83 points. They won by 4 points after being 40 points down back in round 23 in 2021. So, realistically, like, that's what it is. We know that Geelong have won kick after siren with Zach Tuuri as well. And that was really, you know, a 7-goal margin after half-time as well. But I definitely do think that. And they won by 25 points in round 4 as well. And, yeah, you know, Geelong have won before that as well, that you can definitely count on. But having said that too, I think Geelong are just that superior team. The only thing for me is, can they continue to stop Melbourne's forward line? Now, we know that Melbourne's defence, you know, Gawn will push down both forward and defence. But May and Lever are ones that, to me, are more worrying for Geelong point of view. And you think you need Hawkins to come into play really well. But I do love when Geelong's ball movement was that good as well. And this is something that teams are now going to see as well. So I'm going to say that the Cats will get the job done. I reckon they'll win by 9 points. I really think that this will be a classic game. Would I be surprised if it's a blowout? No, I wouldn't. But then again, it's just superb on what we're seeing as well from these two sides. West Coast versus Essendon. Look, I think for me, it'll be in a battle of Essendon's mix versus West Coast. Now, when Harley Reid probably will be back as well. But I think Essendon's forward line, if they can step up a gear, they'll definitely get the job done against the younger West Coast defence. and a West Coast younger forward line, you think Essendon should be fun. So I'm going to say the Bombers will win for 40 points, purely based on the way that we've seen these two teams play as well. Now, Richmond versus Fremantle up at the MCG. Now, we know last time these sides met, Richmond won by 15 points in round 13 in 2023 as well, and that's when they had the caretaker. But having said that too, the last 5 games, I've only seen Richmond won 4 of them, and the only draw that we've had was obviously in round 19 in 2022 when at Marvel Stadium. So that's why it is interesting as well. Look, I've been to a Richmond Fremantle game before, back in 2017. That was a really good game. So Fremantle, just to on that as well, so there's been 3 wins to Richmond. So I want to fact check here. Fremantle won by 4 points in round 20 2021. That was when they wore their retro Guernseys as well. So I do like to apologise for that. But I do think now, with Fremantle, I think they're in better form. You probably won't get a big crowd at the MCG. But having said that too, I'm rating Fremantle at the moment, and I think their forward line will dominate Richmond's defence, and I think Fremantle's got a better midfield than Richmond's anyway. So with the injuries that Richmond's got, I'm going to say Fremantle by 50 points. So I expect Fremantle to really get the job done as well. Now, the Western Bulldogs versus the Hawks at Marvel Stadium now. Oh my God, what can I say about this game? Look, to be honest with you, I think the Bulldogs are disappointing. The Hawks are in that rebuild, we know that for a fact. I think it will be a battle of Bulldogs' midfield step up against a Hawthorn midfield. So I do think it will be a battle in the midfield. I'm going to say the Western Bulldogs by 35 points, just to really, make it interesting as well. Now, Brisbane versus the Gold Coast Suns up at the Gabba. Now, we know the Suns did play on Sunday and Brisbane played on Thursday as well. But I do think that it's a big game for these two teams. The Suns, we know they won by 41 points in round 2023, and the history hasn't been great for the Suns. Brisbane have been dominating pretty convincingly, but I think this is a different Brisbane outfit. To be honest with you, the reason why I say that is because the Gold Coast Suns have won 2, the Hawks and the Eagles. Well, the Lions have only beaten, realistically, North Melbourne, and it was a big win against the Demons at the MCG. But they've been very disappointing against the Cats, against the Pies, and also against the Giants as well. So I'm not confident in Brisbane Lions. I can't trust them this year. Look, there might be games so I might pick them against maybe like the St Kilda, but against the Suns, I do think that Brisbane's Gold Coast's midfield is probably a lot better. With Lachie Neale and Tuke Miller as well, and you had Dane Zoko as well. That there's a bit of history there between these two sides. It's the Q clash. It's like the Battle of the Bridge. It's going to be a great game. But I'm going to say the Suns will get the job done, purely based on, Brisbane have to travel to Canberra. Well, I think the Suns have had a home game up at first home stadium as well. So I'm going to say the Suns by 15 points. I hope you guys liked the video. Look, don't forget to drop a like and also drop a sub as well. Until next time, bye for now.